In a small, forgotten village nestled between the edge of a forest and the dusty plains lived a little girl named Ayesha. She was no more than 10, with tangled hair, worn-out shoes, and eyes that still sparkled with the remnants of hope. Though her clothes were torn and her days were hard, her dreams were painted in colors too rich for her world. Ayesha had lost both her parents to illness the year before. Since then, she had become the caretaker of her younger sister Noor, who was only 5. Together they lived in a crumbling hut, with holes in the roof and a floor of cold, bare earth. Every morning, Ayesha would walk to the village to clean homes and carry water for a few coins or a piece of bread. Every evening, she would return to Noor with whatever she had earned, and together they would share one small meal and curl up beneath a thin blanket. But no matter how hard her days were, Ayesha never let go of her stories, the ones she made up at night to comfort her sister. They were stories of magical lands, kind queens, and most of all, fairies who granted wishes to the good-hearted. One evening, just as the sun was setting and the sky turned into shades of orange and purple, Ayesha went into the forest to collect firewood. The shadows of the trees danced on the ground, and the air was cool and still. She walked deeper than usual, following the crunch of leaves under her tired feet. Suddenly she saw a strange light glimmering between the trees, soft, golden, and moving gently like a flame in the wind. Curious and a little afraid, she followed the light until it stopped in a small clearing. There, to her amazement, stood a fairy, beautiful and glowing, with silver wings that shimmered like moonlight and eyes full of warmth. The fairy smiled at her and said in a voice like music, "Ayesha, I have watched you. Even with nothing, you give everything. Your kindness, your love for your sister, your strength, they are powerful. I can grant you one wish." Ayesha was stunned. She blinked, wondering if she had fallen asleep. But the fairy was still there, hovering just above the ground, waiting patiently. With a trembling voice, Ayesha whispered, "I don't want riches or gold. I just want a safe home and enough food so my sister never has to sleep hungry again." The fairy smiled wider, her heart moved. "That is a wish from a pure soul," she said, and waved her delicate wand. In a blink, the forest around them shifted. A cozy cottage appeared on the edge of the village, with clean beds, warm blankets, a small fireplace, and a table full of food. There were books for Ayesha, toys for Noor, and a garden that glowed in the moonlight. The fairy turned to Ayesha and spoke gently, "You have changed your fate through your goodness. Remember, true magic is not in wands or wings. It is in the heart that loves and gives, even when it has little." And with that, the fairy disappeared into the night sky, leaving behind a trail of stardust. Ayesha ran back to her old hut, scooped up Noor in her arms, and together they entered their new home, their laughter echoing through the village. From that night on, the stars above their cottage always seemed a little brighter, as if the fairy was watching still.